I hadn't read the play, just the script had been sent to me, and when you say yes and you're thinking about it and, and have a couple questions, I said, well, send me the play and maybe I can, get some answers. Maybe there's something in the play that's, not in the script. But alas, a little bit. I guess my biggest question was about the relationship between the husband and Ruby's husband, Earl, and what's the reason for the acrimony and the breach, the distance between them. I think I got a little bit, but I left the bulk of that on Brian Stokes. It's his character. He has to figure it out. They live together, love lost, maybe. I think she always loved him more, knew him, loved him more. He, growing up, he was just bigger than life, huge, gorgeous, proud. You know, maybe things came easy to him, talented, um, had a vision of wanting big things and a larger life. And that's attractive to a woman and to this woman. But the reality of what their situation is here in the Deep South in the 60s, maybe it's the 60s up north, but then in the South and in the backwoods of the bayou, it can be the 40s, Things have not, his life has not blossomed in the way that that he had dreamed it or would have wanted it. She's had some good fortune herself in that she's inherited a business from her mother, who must have been a strong woman. She was running a business herself. So she has this destiny of being given this gift. And perhaps to a man who has a great deal of pride and ego, it rubs him the wrong way. Whereas he should be very supportive and lift her up, and this just makes our union, our relationship bigger. It makes we're entrepreneurs. We work together. Yes, she inherited, but it belongs to us and to our family and to our generations. I don't think he doesn't see it that way. It's hers. She's better than him, but maybe not. And perhaps also in that time, in that place in Louisiana, there's a caste system that's based on skin color. Lighter is better, brighter, that kind of thing. And he perhaps looks down his nose a little bit, just based on the amount of melanin that's not in his skin. um, so I think those are some of the issues that's going on between them. But she's a hard worker. She's very industrious. And I kept thinking when I was reading it, what's wrong with him? Why doesn't he love me? Or, she's great. Billy Dupree. He lives there, I think, in the backwoods with them, near them. They certainly are aware of him. When Johnny, that's Glenn Plummer's character, says, I got a replacement. I got a singer for you. And she says, who? And he says, Billy Dupree. And she immediately says, you're crazy. So, and of course, I changed that a little line, a little bit. But basically, it seemed that she was aware of who he was. So he must live in close proximity to them. They know them. He's got as rough a life as these, brown people, black people who live back here. But there's not interaction every day. But at this point in the story that we're telling, they all need something. She's in a lurch because the singer that everybody loves is out of town. He's, been tapped to do some big thing, become a star. So he's left this, this is a happening joint here, I think. But there's even, he's going to be successful. He's going to play with somebody bigger, I guess, like B.B. King or something has come through, and, he has that opportunity. So she's left without anyone. Glenn's character, Johnny, one of the prerequisites for him playing in this place is that he's got to have a lead singer. You know, the folks who frequent this place, they're real strong critics back here. You know, they're really strong critics, and they appreciate a good singer. And that he is not. Dupree, he's going through his own, you know, trials with his wife. He's had a tragedy in his life, and I guess he keeps her overly medicated to keep her calm, trying to make the best of his bad situation. So their lives circle around each other, and I suppose when there's been this loss of a love relationship between Ruby and her husband, it's sort of been non-existent for so long, going through the motions, that she's a woman that hasn't been touched or appreciated. I would say in years. In many, many years. You have a lot to keep you busy. You're raising a daughter. You're running a business. I mean, he's out of town, so you're taking on a lot of responsibility. But there's a part of a woman, that soft place, you know, the lace and the perfume and the touch, that the skin that just wants to be touched and can only be touched by a man. And that's where Dupree comes in. I think reluctantly. I hope she doesn't. I hope I haven't played it. We do these things so out of sequence. that she's sort of like a flower, I think, perhaps opening up when he says to her, I see you. How long you been waiting? You shine. You're beautiful. I see that part of you. I see past all the grime and the dirt and the beer and the stench of the cigarettes and the hard exterior that are callous that you've had to develop to make this life work for you. But I see the soft places, and he wants to touch them. He hasn't had that love from his wife either. Emotionally, she's all over the place. She loves him, needs him desperately. Sometimes a desperate love is just too much for a person to handle. It's not equal. It's not equal. Her daughter, Emerald, is, her head's been filled with things by her father. She thinks better of herself than perhaps she ought. She has a heightened sense of her place and who she is. And on one hand, this is a very good thing because she has very good self-esteem. She has excellent self-esteem, based on her father's word. You're meant for big things, and that can be positive. But it's a bit out of she's a bit out of focus with it, for lack of a better word, because of the timing and the place. This is the South. Things have not moved as quickly here in terms of equality and justice as they have perhaps up north, or maybe even the show of justice that has happened up north. And Ruby explains to her how the world sees her mother as a nursemaid, as a whore, as a mule, rolled into one, whatever they need. And she also, even though she has a business, they look toward the husband, toward the man, toward her man, to do her business. So even though it's her business and she's running it, relatively little help from Earl. He doesn't make it easy, let's just say that. The world still asks his opinion. They go to him first. And she has to swallow it because of them, the outsiders, but also because of the pride and the ego of this husband. After all these many years, she knows him and she knows what would set him off, So she, just lets it be so they can just handle the business, get it done, whatever. But she would prefer another way. She knows it's not the right way, but she swallows a great deal. Emerald is in a big hurry to grow up, to be a grown-up. Her father, he's, often onshore. He's been in the war. He's seen perhaps a bit more of the world than Ruby has, and knows that there's so much more to life than what's going on in these backwoods. And sure, he sees that she's a beautiful young girl. She favors and resembles him. She has a thirst for knowledge. She's a very good student. She's fearless, independent. And she sees her mother as someone who's trying to keep her down, to make her small, to put her in some subservient place, maybe back of the bus, the back of life. And her mother really is just trying to love her and to protect her and to, help her grow up with grow up, and to really look at reality, to look at life as it is from a very real perspective. Bucket of Blood is the thing, I suppose, that's working in her life. It seems to be working in her life. Her relationship with her daughter is strained. Her relationship with her husband is strained to the 10th power, very strained. So the bucket is the only place that works where she is in control, where she's a confident woman and businesswoman, and from time to time, performer. Journey's phenomenal. Her emotional life is so present and so rich. She is as good as any adult I have ever worked with. I am, awed and amazed by her, and she'll just continue. I mean, she just gets it. You just say a few things to her, just to give her a motivation, or ask her to, or she can make an adjustment, the, just like that. But she's wonderful, and when I heard that she was playing Emerald, it was like, yes. Do I look like I could be her mom? I think so, depending on who her dad is. Oh, Whoopi and I had a great time working together on Stella. We just had a ball, just laughed, got along very easy. She's a very just easy individual to be around and get along with. Very hard worker and just knows it cold. Just makes the day go faster. Sometimes I'm still figuring things out, but she's great, and I just welcome the opportunity when I got the script from her. I won't say that, we were looking, let's do this again. That's something that you always say, but you never know if you'll really have that opportunity to get together again. And, when the script came across, I was just very pleased to see it was Whoopi and thought, it should be something nice, or it absolutely was something for me to seriously consider. Well, I've been interested in finding something that's period, so to speak. I mean, it's not the 1800s, but it is sort of a step back in time, a different time. There's another feel to it, the South, and that's where I'm from, so opportunity for me to bring out my Southern accent, not to be so, okay, you don't have to be so concerned about hitting the ends of your words and the T's and the plosives. But so it's just I enjoy that, just like I don't know, a warm blanket or something. It's hot, it's sultry, it's charactery, different time period. If you want to work with the dialect a little bit, that's there for you. There was also that little French Cajun thing that was thrown in there. although I took Spanish, so how do you say that? How do you say that? Montchain. Oh, Montchain. Oh, okay. Oh, Peter's been great. He's just very, open with us for the collaborative process, and, having done, he did the 70s, which this is the 60s, so this is a decade early. But he's just really, added a layer to it with the music, the choice of the music that he's chosen, and the people and the look. I mean, I think I like that we're good-looking people. He hasn't made us like dirt poor out here. Even though our house is very interesting looking, but yeah, my dresses, I have nice dresses on. But he's been great, just, the way he's cast it, and the look that he's taken. I don't know if you got to see the outside of the place. It's, oh, as soon as you drove up through those woods and you saw it. I mean, if I didn't know, sometimes you don't exactly get it. I mean, you have an idea in your head of what it may look like. You're not quite sure what direction, because sometimes you can, you have pictures in your head and the director has a different picture, and the playwright was thinking something else. But as soon as we drove on the set and you saw the bucket of blood in the background surrounded by the trees and the bayou, you were there immediately. You were there.